Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole with Eric Ebersol. Imagine you wake up and the hours just slide past emails, errands, blinking at your phone, and at the end of the day, you can't tell whether it was a Tuesday or a Tuesday. Now picture the same day with 3 tiny pins stuck into it. A single morning gesture that marks the start, a 2-minute pause with friends that makes something feel shared, and a 5-minute check-in that reminds you where you're headed. Which of those days would you rather have? That's the question we're chasing today.
Oh, love that.
Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm Eric, and joining me are 2 people who always have a neat way of naming small practices. Sam, who looks at the spiritual underside of tiny acts, and Tamara, who loves how communities invent pocket-sized traditions. We'll share 3 bite-sized calendars you can try tonight, and 1 practical version of each. Ready? Let's dive.
Let's take a look at the quiet little thing you can do every morning or night that actually frames the whole day. I call it a signal gesture. It can be as small as placing a stone in your pocket, whispering a short line to yourself, or touching a ring. The point isn't the object, it's the boundary it creates. This is my day. This is my pause.
Right.
Experience shows even one small, repeated motion rewires how your mind reads time. It says, attention shifted, ritual begun. Small things, profound tilt.
Totally.
I love that. Quick question though, how do you stop it from feeling gimmicky? If I grab a pebble every morning because some podcast told me to, does it actually do anything?
Good push. The difference between gimmick and practice is meaning, which grows when you pair the gesture with a line or an intention. Say the same 2 words each morning, I begin or I return, and attach them to a sensory cue, breath, touch, or sight.
Exactly.
That tiny triad, cue, phrase, feeling, anchors the habit. Over a week, you notice subtle shifts. The pebble stops being plastic and starts being a signpost. Small things, profound tilt.
I like that because it makes a private thing feel intentional. And then there are the mini ceremonies you can do with others that take almost no planning but create instant belonging. Think of a 2-second toast when you log off from work, a 1-minute where are you now check at family dinner, or a little bell passed between neighbors. Small shared toasts appear in coastal fishing communities and in weekday synagogue rituals. The form differs, but the function is shared. I've seen coworkers build loyalty with a shared silly chant, and it stuck.
But listen to this. What about cultural borrowing? Isn't there a risk of taking someone's meaningful practice and making a one-liner out of it? I want simple, but I also want respectful. How do we balance that?
Absolutely valid. And I would say the key is curiosity and context. If a practice has a specific cultural root, mention it. Learn a little about its significance and adapt with humility. Focus on the function, marking transition, cultivating gratitude, rather than copying ritual forms wholesale. Invite permission when possible and give credit.
I'm not sure I buy it. If something is visual or musical, how do we avoid turning a sacred form into cute?
Say that aloud. I learned this from X. I adapt it with permission and credit. That 2-line script gives people a way to be honest and specific.
Right. And there's room for borrowing and for invention. Some of my favorite rituals are hybrids born from everyday needs. For instance, a 5-breath transition after lunch to signal focus returning, followed by placing a napkin under your cup for the rest of the day as a quiet marker.
And it signals to whoever's around that you made a choice. Small, visible, and easy to copy.
Okay, here's the pocket calendar I actually use. It's small, predictable, and boringly effective. Pick 1 weekly 5-minute slot. Set a placeholder in your phone labeled What Moved Me. Sit in the same chair, same mug if you can. And in 5 minutes, jot 1 small win, 1 tiny regret, and 1 theme for next week. Do it the same time each week, and in a month you'll have a little ledger of momentum.
Ooh, I like that. Simple and honest. And to keep things accessible, let's offer 3 variations listeners can try immediately. A 1-sentence morning marker for people on the run, a 1-minute shared check for roommates or coworkers, and a monthly candle moment for anyone who wants a slightly slower cadence. Each can be as cheap as a sticky note or as warm as a small song. Try one tonight and see how it lands.
Please. Quick round of takeaways, then a tiny practice you can do tonight. I'll go first. My takeaway is narrative beats noise. 5 minutes of weekly review. Tonight's micro practice. Schedule a 5-minute slot and write one. What moved me? Note. Promise me you'll do it.
My takeaway, a simple cue becomes a boundary. Tonight's practice, pick one small object or one 2-word phrase and pair it with a breath. Use it when you wake or before bed. Really feel the boundary it creates.
And mine, community is micro, not monumental. Tonight, suggest a 1-minute shared pause to someone, your roommate, a coworker, a friend, and actually do it. Say, 2 breaths for a quick check-in. Try it once and notice how different 5 minutes feels when it's shared.
If you liked this, subscribe, try one of these tonight, and send a 1-line note about what you chose. Don't be afraid to learn.
Try a mini ceremony and tell us how it lands. I would love to hear about any neighborly rituals you invent.
Start tiny. See you soon.
You've been listening to Down the Rabbit Hole with Eric Ebersol.